Stage 2, we are going to do our stretch and fold. Stretch and fold is a little bit different in whole grain. It doesn't have the consistency, the stretchability, but let's see what we got here. This has been resting for an hour. You can see it's come up very, very nicely. Because I'm going to have to touch this with my hands and it's still pretty tacky. Tastes good. I'm going to put some oil on my hands. So I've got my hands oiled. Again, going down underneath, taking it, stretching it over and folding it. And do the same thing again from this side. Stretch and fold. But you can see it's starting to gather. It's got its consistency. Stretch and fold. Got some nice gluten development going on there. We've done it the four corners, but we're going to do it again just because this is still early in the life of this bread and it can develop more strength. But you see how easily it tears when I do that. Okay, good. Now, so I'm going to add some lightly oil the bowl. Just put some oil around it so it's not going to stick real badly. I'm just going to take it and flip it over one more time. There. Now one of the things I want to show you is how you start to judge the formation of the gluten. So I can put a little bit of flour here on my hands, like that. I'm just going to grab a piece here, and then I'm going to start to separate that. What we're trying to do is stretch it out. You can see how we've got, that is your gluten right there. It's almost, you can look through it and you see how nicely that's formed up. That's what captures the air, and that's what gives the bread its volume and makes the bread light. And so you stretch it, and then see, breaks. And that's we're going to let it strengthen a little bit longer, another hour. And then we move on to the next stage, which is creating the shape for the bread and then baking it in the oven. This is a lot faster than our focaccia. So I'm going to wash my hands, I'm going to cover it up, and then put it back for another hour. Okay, our dough is basically ready at this point. We're going to, I've unwrapped it. I'm going to give it one more stretch and fold, strengthen it up. Then we're going to cut it up into pieces. While it's resting, we will oil and put oats onto our baking sheets. Then we'll put the dough aside, let it rise for 35-40 minutes, and then we bake it and it's done. So this procedure goes actually pretty fast if you don't count in the 24 hours that it took for the dough, the pre-ferment, the biga, to rise. But as you can see, it looks pretty nice. Let me hold it up there. You can see it's got some substantial shape to it, and it looks like it's about ready to jump out of that bowl and onto our pans. So I'm going to oil my hands again just to give it that next stretch and fold. Lubrication. Now I think I really could have added a little extra flour to this. This is a little bit wetter than I would normally use for a or wetter dough than I would have for a whole wheat bread. Very manageable with white bread, but we'll see how it performs on the pan or what it does. But in any case, now I'm going to put some flour out here on my cutting board. Sprinkle it, spread it around, because I don't want it to be sticking. That's sticking is not good. Gather it up. Actually, I'm going to put some flour down here because when I cut it up, I'm going to let it sit aside.